Dust is all that's left of us. But only if you ever worry. While the signs were clear, they had no idea. You just get used to living in fear. Or give up when you can't even picture your future.
Epic Duel Time is brought to you by Merrimack Games and Comics. Check them out on Facebook and visit their site at merrimackgames.com.
What's up YouTube, Evan from Epic Duel Time here. It's about 5 in the morning right now. I'm exhausted. This is the third time I've had to do this video thanks to my lovely software not doing anything right. So yeah, I'm gonna go through this video a little faster than usual. I've been working on like 4 videos at the same time. It's been quite an evening that I hadn't expected. But online, the OCG has just released Legacy of the Valiant, and we have spoilers, and that's always exciting. There's some really crazy stuff coming out in the set, so I want to run through it. First thing is a card called Riding Together, which is a continuation of the Saga of Sangan that I had done a video about. We see 4 banned cards shown on this image. We see Delinquent Duo driving some sort of a bus. Graceful Charity is in the back seat, calming down a Sangan who's having a meltdown in the passengers. And then you see Tribe Infecting Virus is in the way back, being what they are. But this card's also not just a funny card, it's an amazing card. Riding Together is a quick play spell. During the turn this card is activated when your opponent adds a card from the deck or grave to hand. Besides drawing, draw 1 card from your deck. Once only one Riding Together can be activated each turn. This is essentially a maxi for searchers that is a quick play spell. And why this impresses me so much is cards like this are very healthy for the card game. Maxis, you know, something like this, where it tames down the ability of your opponent able to just go off and do so many plays without repercussion, but at the same time doesn't lock out or prevent anything. I mean, things like, we've always had things like Thunder King or deck lockdown or recently Mistake, where we can prevent searching, but now we have something to make you choose if it's worth to search or not. So it's very interesting. Obviously the majority of cards that have come out in this kind of plotline saga have been secret rare, so I think it's very, very likely that we're going to get this as a secret. Next, a new Xyz in Synchro. No clue on the Xyz yet, but we have some information on that Synchro. His name is Guardian Beast of Holy Tree Gao. Earth Beast level 10, very important, 3100 attack. Tuner and 1 or more non-tuners, so he's generic. So finally we have a generic level 10 Synchro, kind of like how Star Reader is generic level 11. This card cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects except during your main phase 2. That's insane. I think it's interesting because the main phase 2 is almost, I guess you could say it's an optional phase. It's not, we don't even really use it all too much. You can kind of go without it sometimes, so it's kind of funny. I wonder if that's exactly its effect, but we're pretty sure. All this information can be found at Yu-Gi-Oh! Edition Singapore. There's a link in the description below. But if you look at the image of the monster, he's Natria Leo Drake with what looks like armor made from Evil Swarm Ouroboros and Constellar Ptolemy M7. Next, we've got some Xyz monsters and the rank up Astral Force card. Astral Force looks cool because it's ultimate, but you see that Noble Swarm monster we'd seen earlier. Utopia Roots. I see the numbers 101 in his Chaos number form. I think Chaos number 101 is the cover card for this set as well. So a lot of cool stuff. Something that I want to take a minute to focus on is a card called Xyz Avenger. I'm very excited about this. He's really interesting. Xyz Avenger is a level 4 Dark Fiend type effect monster with 1800 attack. This card is unaffected by the effects of Xyz monsters. When this card is destroyed by battle with an Xyz monster and sent to the graveyard, activate one of these effects depending on that monster's rank. Rank 3 or lower, your opponent sends 1 card from the extra deck to the graveyard. Rank 4, look at your opponent's extra deck and send 1 card from there to the graveyard. Rank 5 or higher, your opponent sends a number of cards from the extra deck to the graveyard equal to the rank of that Xyz monster. Which I think is crazy, because if you slammed like Avenger into like a Draco stack or something, you're dropping 7 cards out of their extra deck. So that's pretty insane. I wouldn't do that against dragons or anything, because that could end really poorly. They could just send a ton of different attribute monsters. But against certain decks, this could really hurt. I am very intrigued to see how our game is going to reflect this card's existence. I hope it embraces it, because this is a very unique card. Next, there's some more Boojum Support. I'm not going to get too deep into these. But one of them, essentially, during your main phase 2, the first one, I'm not going to try with the names. During your main phase 2, send this card from the hand to the grave to add a Boojum from the deck to hand. During the turn this card is activated, you cannot activate any spell, trap, or effect monster that isn't Boojum. Then the other one, banish this card from grave and select a Boojum Beast Warrior type monster on the field. The selected monster cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, and this effect can be used during the opponent's turn. So they're probably going to switch that to once during either player's turn, but it's a quick effect version, and basically locks your opponent, your monster in. They're insane. These are great cards. New Ghost Tricks. Again, check out Yu-Gi-Oh! Edition Singapore Facebook page for details on these. They have all the effects listed. I just didn't have time. That's like another video all in itself to go over what these new ones do. It's cool. They're doing another Mega Monarch. This one is for Mobius, and then there's a Frozen Will of Last Monarch, which is a trap. It's terrible. But the new Mobius, I think, is kind of cool. When this card can be tribute summoned by tributing 1 monster that was tribute summoned. While this card is successfully tribute summoned, selects 3 spell or traps on the field, destroy them. When this card is tribute summoned by using water and tribute monsters for the tribute, it gains the following effect: your opponent cannot activate the selected cards in response to this card's activation. Essentially, if you're tribute summoning using water monsters, he turns into a triple Night Beam. Wow. It's interesting because something like this could work, maybe in Frogs or Frog Monarchs or something. It's interesting. I'd be very curious to see how this interacts well. Plus, his art's pretty fantastic. Frozen Will of the Monarch's pretty awful. While there are no cards in your extra deck, select 1 face-up tribute summon monster on the field. Its effects are negated, but is unaffected by other card effects other than this card. That's terrible. It has such a terrible deck building condition on top of a very mediocre effect. And next we've got Gravekeeper Support. They're bringing back the archetype in full blast now, and it's really impressive. I'll talk about the first 2 cards. The continuous spell is Necro Valley's Altar. They've turned Necro Valley into an archetype. Activate only when there is a Gravekeeper and a Necro Valley, both on the field. While this card is on the field, both players cannot special summon monsters besides Gravekeeper monsters. If there isn't a Gravekeeper monster and a Necro Valley on the field, Necro Valley's Altar is destroyed. And the Necro Valley's Tomb, counter trap, activate only when there is a Gravekeeper monster and a Necro Valley on the field. When your opponent activates a spell or trap or monster effect, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Only 1 Necro Valley Tomb per turn. Essentially what they just gave them is a Royal Oppression and an Infernity Barrier. No, that's not kidding, and that's insane. However, they have made this deck a much more cohesive deck to not Xyz with. Remember that before, a lot of the plays ended in trying to make things like Key Beetle recently with the deck. But now what we're looking at is wanting to leave those Gravekeepers in the field to be able to use the support cards and coexist with them. So it's very interesting. And then a couple of the monsters I want to talk about is Gravekeeper's Apostle. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the grave, you can special summon 1 Gravekeeper monster besides Apostle from your deck in face down defense position, which is great because of things like Spy, but then even better because of things like this, Ambush Troop. When this card is flipped, select 1 card from the opponent's grave and return it to the bottom of the deck, which I think is kind of unique. When this flipped card is sent to the graveyard, select 1 Necro Valley card. Necro Valley card. Look at that. From your grave and add it to the hand. This effect cannot be negated by Necro Valley. Whew. Oh, scary stuff. Scary stuff. Recycle that Gravekeeper's tomb. Tomb all you want, because, you know. Recyclable Infernity Barrier. Even at 5 in the morning, that blows my mind. And that's all I got for you guys. They're translating more and more every hour. So much stuff. So check out Yu-Gi-Oh! Edition Singapore. That's where I got all this from. Like them on Facebook. They're such a great resource for OCG related things. The OCG directly impacts the TCG. Don't listen to what anybody says. That's absolutely true. What they get, we'll get later. And sometimes we'll get in a way more dangerous way. It's very important. So check out their page. They also have some cool TCG stuff. It's a very cool page. Again, link in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm trying to bring you guys a different selection. I will have a duel video out this week. I want to go sleep though, so I want to make sure that at least this video got up. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and keep dueling America.
Yeah.